Hennythemoor reporting live from the liquor store. How's everybody doing today, man? Hey, it's Friday. The weekend is upon us. So, it's definitely time for y'all to make a liquor store run, man. So, hey, come on over to the liquor store. We got hen, gin, Eagles tears, brandy, whatever you need to get your weekend kicked off right, man. So, come on in. Get you whatever bottle that help you sin, man. We're gonna talk about the damn Dallas Cowboys content, man. So the title of this show is gonna be called Cheap Liquor, right? We know the Dallas Cowboys historically have not spent a lot of money in free agency, but no, that changed really. We did get Brandon Cooks, we did get Stephon Gilmore. We did make some moves. We kept some of our own guys. Hey, Regina Green, Michael Lockhart, what's up with y'all, man? So, hey, they did some good shopping, right? They went to the Gucci store and got a couple Gucci belts. But now it's time to go back and shop at TJ Maxx. It's time to go hit Ross now. And really, we're gonna take a look at some cheap free agents. That's why we calling it cheap liquor right now. Because I know we are going to the draft next week. I will be there with Landlord in the West Coast. But we have a bunch of needs. I don't necessarily think that all our needs can be met with the draft alone. So, there's a possibility we want this guy, we want that guy, we want him, her, whoever. But, there's a good possibility that some of the people that we covet, will not become Dallas Cowboys. So we have to think of ways to still go out there and get quality depth for our team. So we're going to do this research together. Like, I have the list of available free agents pulled up. There's some bigger names than I expected that are still available. So we're just going to go through all these different free agents that are still on the open market. And, we're going to see our level of interest in each person. But before I get into that, I need everybody to go ahead and hit the like button, hit the share button. And if you have not already joined the liquor store, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers right now. We're sitting at 730, so y'all been definitely showing love, supporting the channel, helped me grow from not having a single subscriber, like 7 months ago to, having almost 800. So, I appreciate y'all. So we're just going to keep trying to get this channel growing, and, we're going to rock out like that. And also, we're still doing the raffle. There's 4 days. There's 4 days left to join the raffle because I'm going to be doing the drawing on the 25th. So if you want a chance to win a Dallas Cowboy jersey, get your entries in as soon as you can. It's $5 to join the raffle. All you got to do is send $5 to $Hennythemoor, which is the Cash App, and you'll get an entry. You can send as many entries as you want. I just ask that you only send while I'm live so I can tell everybody, keep everybody updated or whatnot, because I want full transparency. And on the 25th, I'll draw, the winner, and, they will get a Dallas Cowboy jersey. All they got to do is let me know the size, the player they want, and they need to provide me with their mailing address. But if they interest you want to join, participate, just send $5 to the Cash App. But with all that said, man, let's jump right into it, man. So the reason I even thought about this, man, we know that the draft is here. We're all excited about the draft. This is going to be my first time going, so I'm excited, right? I'm really excited. Stephen Harrison, what's up with you? Brian Kite, I see you. Desmond Ironman, what's up with y'all, man? Appreciate you for the love and support. So, I'm excited to go, but, the fan in me is really excited, but the content creator, the football fan also knows there's a good chance that not everybody we draft is even going to make the team. You know what I mean? There's only so many quality players you can find in the draft. There's only going to be so many Deron Blands you can get in the 5th round and can start from you year one. There's only going to be so many Sam Williams and so many Michael Parsons, and, like, you're not always going to hit on the draft. So I'm looking at some free agents that can come in. So some of the guys got names, some of the guys are still productive, got some names, So let's see if we should be interested in any of these free agents. Because I definitely can see the Dallas Cowboys signing a couple of free agents after the draft is over. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to do the legwork together, my guys. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to do the legwork together. So this is the free agency tracker from Spotrac. And these are the top free agents that are available right now. And what do you see? Of course, we see our boy Ezekiel Elliott on here. He is honestly the best available free agent running back. That could be a bridge that we cross again at one point. Hey, what's up with you, DP Johnson? I appreciate you tapping in and showing love to the liquor store, my guy. So let's talk about it. So we definitely need offensive line help. We need defensive line help. And you might want to add some depth at wide receiver or corner, right? Hoodlum, what's good with you, my boy? And everybody coming in, please hit the like button. Please share to a couple of sites so people can know that the liquor store is open. It'll be greatly appreciated. And I really rock with y'all. So I thank y'all. So yeah, we definitely know that the Dallas Cowboys need some offensive line depth, and they also need some defensive tackle help. If you look down here, this is a very interesting name, Taylor Lumen. Now, he is a former first-round pick. He has made 3 Pro Bowl selections. He was one of the better left tackles in the National Football League, when he was healthy. The issue with him is he has not been healthy in quite some time, but, he is a guy who has 9 years of playing experience, knows the game very well. And, and let's be honest, we're a team that's been relying on Tyron Smith. And, we can't really talk about injuries or availability when we're relying on a guy that's that's only played 17 games in the last 3 years. So Taylor Lewin is an outright free agent. I've spoken about wanting to get Perry Johnson Jr. in the draft, him being like my, best available left tackle. I know a lot of y'all like Darnell Wright, who has played some left tackle, but it's probably going to be a right tackle at the next level. Broderick Jones from Georgia. Those are all good names for young prospects in the draft that I would like the Dallas Cowboys to get. But, we also know the Dallas Cowboys are picking number 26 overall. There will be 25 players selected before the Dallas Cowboys can even think about drafting somebody. And, a lot of those players that we like, that we covet, could be gone. So, and yes, like he said, like he has a bit of an injury history, but he's not. I don't think he's asking for a Brinks truck at this point in his career. He's been enumerated a couple times. He's 31 years old, former Pro Bowl player. I think, especially coming to Dallas, that has a very good medical staff. We were able to keep Randall Cobb healthy. We were able to keep a lot of guys who had nagging injuries, like Malik Hooker. He stayed injured, with the Colts, and he's came over here and been super healthy, played the most games he's ever played in 3-year stretch. So a player with an injury history does not deter me, because we have an asset that a lot of other teams do not. We have an award-winning medical staff. Dallas is an area I always talk about. It's very advanced in sports science. So I do think, we could probably keep a guy like him healthy. I do think he's a viable option if you can't get one of the other left tackles that you are coveting in the draft. So, I want to keep an eye out for him. Double R, what's up with you, man? So that's just one person we're looking at right now. So Taylor Lewin is one guy that we just looking at right now. This seems to fit the mold of what we want. Veteran player, probably won't cost a lot of money. Has a bit of an injury history, but because of that injury history, you could probably get him for a pretty nice ticket. So I like him. What I mean? If you can't get one of these young guys in the draft, go get you a veteran that can rock out with you. So we're going to do it just like that. All right. So we just looked at one left tackle. Thank you. All right, so let's see. Let's see another available tackle out here in free agency. Don't know. I don't know who Donovan Smith is. I don't think he worth a quarter, probably. If we bring him in, he gets stashed on practice squad until needed. Hey, you don't want to play him until you need him, right? Because I definitely want I want a healthy Tyron Smith playing if needed, right? I would prefer Tyron Smith to be healthy. When he's healthy, he's one of the better left tackles in the National Football League. But I also know he hasn't been healthy in a long time. Hasn't played a full season in a long time. But I still like him as a player, right? So I agree with that. You got to bring him in and stash him, do that. And again, all these are situations where we can't get the guy that we wanted. You know what I mean? So I think this would be a relatively cheap option as well. But I don't know his playing history. Donovan Smith, former second round pick. Let me do some research on Donovan Smith real quick. All right, I'm a PFF the boy. And no, I'll pass on Donovan Smith. Last year, he allowed 6 sacks. He had 12 penalties, which was fourth in the league. Graded out as a 41.5 as a run blocker. Graded out as a 58.1 overall. Allowed 31 pressures. Yeah, I'm good on him. Never mind, he's not that good. So we don't want Donovan Smith. If I'm looking at guys in free agency, they got to be at least serviceable. So just going off of his statistics and advanced metrics, I do not want any parts of Donovan Smith. What are we getting? Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, these are available free agents. That's why it's called cheap shots. Usually when people are available this late into free agency, there's something wrong with them. Either they're older, they played bad, the previous season, or they have an injury history. Right. So we already know what was up with Taylor Lewin, good player that's been riddled with injuries. We just looked at Donovan Smith, who was horrible last year. He was so bad that I instantly clicked off his stuff once I saw his production. Now we're going to see what other left tackles are out here, and then we'll go to different positions. So, we're going to look at left tackle real quick, and then we'll look at defensive tackle. Matter of fact, I don't see any other left tackles worth taking. Because if he was the second left tackle on this list, then it can't be, there can't be a good list of available left tackles. And we really knew that though, right? Just like quarterback, if you're a free agent quarterback at this point, in free agency, you're not that good, right? If you're a free agent wide receiver at this point, you're really not that good. The things that are usually tied to the passing game that have overall value don't just sit on the open market this long. So Taylor Lewin, I think, is the best left tackle available. I think he's the only left tackle that you can feel comfortable with picking up in free agency right now. So we're not even going to bother with that. Let's look at the trenches, man. I always talk about the Dallas Cowboys' inability to stop the run, us being the 22nd ranked run defense last year in terms of total yardage. So let's see, there's still some big nasties out there that can come in and provide some depth. I know that we did get Jonathan Hankins. We brought him back into the fold, but he's you never have too many run stoppers, especially on this defense. Our defense is really predicated on speed, so we don't have a lot of big bodies to put in the middle. So depth there is going to be crucial. So let's see. All right. So in terms of defensive tackles, right, let's see. Defensive tackles. I think I saw Shelby Harris as the first listed defensive tackle they had on this list. Yeah, I wasn't lying. Here you go. So boom, Shelby Harris, 31 years old, 8 years of experience. I'm going to PFF him real quick. See if he worth a quarter. He may be. I don't know, but let's see. Okay. Last year he graded out good against the run. So last year Shelby Harris graded out as a 76.9 against the run. He had 30 solo tackles, 14 assists. I know I don't need a pass rusher, but he had 2 sacks. He had 23 stops. If you don't know what stops are, those are plays where the defensive player, beat the offense basically. It's either a tackle at the line of scrimmage, a stop on downs, batted pass, whatever. He had 30 stops. He had 30 positive plays against the NFL offense. Well, 23, I should say 23 positive plays against the offense. So I like what I see so far. 6'3", 300 pounds. You know, I think he adds some. I think he can add some much needed depth to our defensive tackle rotation. Actually, I know Landlord is very high on a guy like Big Quinn Bohannon, but he didn't rank out well against a lot of things last season. I don't think he played up to par. So I don't mind adding another defensive tackle that can get in front of him and in front of in sense of the depth chart. So Shelby Harris is definitely a yes. When you're looking at a 31-year-old defensive tackle that's not a pass rusher, you're not going to have to spend an arm and a leg to acquire their services. You know what I mean? So you can bring a guy like him in for relatively cheap. And honestly, just to put this in perspective for you, the Dallas Cowboys do not have a money problem. They have over $13 million in free cap space right now, and then they will receive another $10 million from the Ezekiel Elliott cut June the 2nd. So Dallas Cowboys are not, cash strapped or anything like that. So even if he costs a little bit, you can pay him, but odds are he'll take a Jonathan Hankins kind of deal. 1.5, $2 million, $3 million maybe, but it won't be a lot of money to get the services of Shelby Harris. A lot of these guys are just hoping to get a call to play football this year. Yeah, that's true. Not everybody can be Tom Brady and play, till they 45. That man was damn near 50 out there pulling in work. So salute to Tom Brady. But yeah, Shelby Harris is definitely a defensive tackle we should target after the draft if he's still available, of course. And remember, defensive tackle is already a position that does not usually translate year one. I can't really list, a bunch of defensive tackles that just came in and were instantly great. Even a guy like Aaron Donald took like a year to develop. So we're trying to win a championship right now. We're trying to stop the run right now. So I think Dallas Cowboys should definitely, I think they should definitely ponder if they want to improve the defensive tackle depth. After the draft, especially if they can't get somebody like Monty Smith, who I think is one of the only true run-stopping defensive tackles in this draft. Him and Siaki. I don't want to butcher the boy's name, but y'all know I'm talking about, the defensive tackle from Baylor. So yeah, I don't think there's a lot of true run-stopping defensive tackles in this draft anyway. And I definitely think that a veteran defensive tackle is better suited for what we want to do. Trying to make a playoff run, trying to get to an NFC championship game, trying to win a Super Bowl. I need somebody that I can rely on that been there and done that. In terms of playing against other grown ass men in the National Football League, of course. All right. So we looked at, and I go to say we determined that, like Taylor Lewin, maybe down the line, if we can't get any tackle depth in the draft worth talking about, we might be able to sign him later on. We just looked at Shelby Harris. He grades out good against the run. He would be a viable option. Miss Regina said, what about O-line? I think Taylor Lewin, definitely would work. But let's humor that. Let's see if there's any guards available. There's a better chance of us finding a guard, in free agency than there is a tackle. So let's see if there's any guards worth kicking the tires on that are still sitting out there. Let's see. AJ Ken, Gabe Jackson, Justin Pugh. All right, let me take a look at Justin Pugh's numbers because they had him listed on here first. So let's see what he did. All right, so Justin Pugh was a former first round pick. He played 263 snaps at left guard last year. Graded out as a 61 overall. Graded out as a 62.4 as a run blocker. Graded out as a 52.5 as a pass blocker. So not good production last year. Let me see what he did the year before. The year before, he was much better. He was a 65.8. Only had 2 penalties. 77.7 as a pass blocker. 57.4 as a run blocker. And listen, I know that none of these stats that I'm going to give you about most of these players are going to be impressive. Again, there's going to be a reason why these guys are on the open market right now. Michael Lockhart, yeah, I definitely think Shelby Harris would be a great defensive tackle pickup for us, man. Like he fits the bill, man. He fits the bill of what we want to do on the defensive side of the ball. But yeah, and look, Justin Pugh, I'm not too sure. Let me go back one more year. Beautiful thing about it, at least he's not allowing sacks, right? He hasn't allowed too many sacks, so that's a good thing. I'm gonna go one more year. Look at Justin Pugh stuff. I'm gonna go back to 2020. Still average play. So on the positive side, he only allowed 1 sack in the last 3 years. But on the flip side, he is not graded out well against anything in particular. He was pretty decent in pass blocking. Run blocking leaves a lot to be desired. And he had 9 penalties in 2020. Who was the second most in the league at that point. So I don't know. Maybe he could be a good piece. But I think there are better odds of getting a guard. I think there are better odds of getting a guard in the draft than there are tackles, right? Even if you don't get Osiris Torrance, who I think is the best guard in this year's draft, I think Steve Vula, how you like to pronounce his name, I think he can be available in the second round. I think there's some other guards you can plug and play, and I'm still under the impression that Tyler Smith can be a great left guard for you. If they just decide to stick with Tyron Smith at left tackle this year, I think Tyler Smith can play left guard and be dominant at that position. So you have options at guard if you don't want to just bring in a guy for the hell of it. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I said, it's slim pickings. When it comes down to who's out there right now. You know what I mean? It's like shopping at Ross, but everybody already picked over the shoes you wanted. They know you might find you some Sauconys or something. You know what I mean? At this point, you might find you some used Sauconys up there in Ross that you can shape back. But these are slim pickings right now, my boy. Very slim pickings. So let's go back and keep looking at some of these cheap shots. Cheap liquor. Hey, but listen, cheap liquor still gets you drunk, though. You know what I mean? Like some of y'all ain't never drunk Everclear. Some of y'all ain't ever drunk Taka Vodka. But that's where I started off on. We should be able to kick Avante Collins at guard. Avante Collins. I like Collins too. And listen, I think he's a better right tackle, than Josh Ball. I think Josh Ball is horrible. I'm not too sure why Josh Ball is still getting the opportunities he's getting, but it is the way of the world. So let's take a look. Let's see what other players are out there that will pique our interest. A'Shawn Robinson, though. A'Shawn Robinson is a dog. I know right here they got him listed as a defensive end, but he is definitely a defensive tackle. So don't let that fool you. Like he is a interior defensive line player. He's definitely an interior defensive line player. 6'4", 330 pounds. He had 28 solo tackles last year, 11 assists. And as a run defender, he graded out as a 68.7, which is much better than actually what Jonathan Hankins graded out as. So, that may sound like it's not the best run defensive grade in the world. But, it's better. It's actually better than what Jonathan Hankins graded out is. Because Jonathan Hankins actually graded out as a 50-something in terms of run defense. Even though, ironically, we were near their entire yard better when he was on the field. Any free agent linebackers out there that's worth a cup of coffee? Yes. There's actually a couple at the top we can look at real quick. So why is he still there? Not entirely sure. Some players misjudge the market. Some teams like going younger. I'm not entirely sure. I might have to do a little bit more research, see if he has a nagging injury or anything like that. But I'm not really sure why he's available. But I definitely think the boy can play still. Only 28 years old. Pretty good in most phases of the game. So I'm not entirely sure why the boy is available either. But yeah, there are a couple of linebackers that are worth looking at. Matter of fact, there's more interior middle linebackers, in free agency, than you would think. You have Zach Cunningham, you have Deion Jones, you have Miles Jack. There are some linebackers out there that you can look at real quick. So let's take a look at Deion Jones, former second-round pick, 7-year veteran. So let me see what Deion Jones did. Deion Jones must have got injured. Yeah, Deion Jones did not play good last year, so that might be why he is still on the open market. Deion Jones graded out as a 48.3. And I don't know, I don't care where you went to school at. A 48 is an F. So he graded as an F overall. He was a Z, right? What's lower than F? A Z. He graded as a 39. Pass rusher graded as a 68.6. Coverage grade was a 54.4. He did not have, much production. He had 7 missed tackles. He had 16 stops, no forced fumbles. This real ugly. And then he played a lot of snaps. I thought he might have been injured, but he played 158 run stop snaps. He played 19 snaps against as a pass rusher. Had 245 snaps in coverage. So I don't know. Maybe he got nicked. I gotta just double check to see how many games he actually played. But he did not have a good showing last year, so that's probably why Deion Jones, just despite having a pretty decent pedigree, is still out there. Yeah, let me see how many games he played last year. Yeah, see, he still played 11 games, so there's not good production to play double-digit games. Hell no, we don't bring back Barr. The Dallas Cowboys will not bring back Barr. He did not play well at all. I think they trust the young linebackers over him. Damone Clark is definitely going to get some more playing time. They're very high on Devin Harper. I think some people on the coaching staff, Still believe in Jabril Cox. Yeah, I got the numbers on Anthony Barr. I can tell you the numbers on Anthony Barr real quick. Matter of fact, I'm actually gonna put that up on screen real quick. You know, I've been showing you that. Let me show you Anthony Barr's numbers real quick. You should be able to see what I seen. He had 45 solo tackles. He had 11 assists. He graded out as a 59.7 overall, was an F, right? You know, 59 is still an F. You know, unless you're rounding up, you can say it's a D. Run defense was a D. Pass rush was a D. Coverage grade was an F. Allowed 115 passer rating when targeted. Had 6 missed tackles. Only had 1 sack. He did have 26 stops, but you know, 45 solo tackles, 11 assists. Not really what you were expecting from Anthony Barr. So who is on the reserve list that we have as a backup at the linebacker position? I'd have to go to do a little deep dive on that. And then, of course, you know that is going to change. You know, after the draft, and training camp, you know that's going to completely change. So if you're talking about like depth chart, you know you got Leighton Vander Esch, you have Damone Clark, you have Devin Harper, you have Jabril Cox. We lost Gifford. You know, Gifford ended up going to Tennessee. So we don't have the world's greatest depth at all. We don't have the world's greatest depth in linebacker. Hey, Bobby Budget, what's good with you, my boy? Appreciate you for tapping into the liquor store and showing love. And remember, you know, if you slap the shit out of an Eagles fan, you will get half off all items in the store. So please use your discount while supplies last. I need you to, you know, use it expeditiously in the word of T.I. They still have him in that purple jersey, so I guess he was trash. Yeah, he did not play good, man. He did not play good at all. Know what I mean? And he made me look bad. Like I beat the table for the Dallas Cowboys to sign him, you know, this previous offseason. Like I made an entire damn article highlighting like what he did with the Vikings this previous year, how he was on the trajectory to have one of his better years before he got cut short by injury. And, you know, I really beat the table for that, man. He went out there and did absolutely nothing for, you know. So he didn't live up to expectations. I was completely wrong about it. So, you know, I'm going to try to, you know, not make myself like a damn fool this year. So where were we? So we took a look at them. James and Taylor, what's up, my guy? I appreciate you tapping into the liquor store and showing love, my brother. So yeah, so now let's move back onward to these free agents out here. So Deion Jones was ass. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna be a shock jock. I'm not gonna call a professional athlete ass, but he did not have a very good season last year, right? He did not have a season up to par from a guy that I know can play at a much higher level. Man, I pray you get the feeling better, brother. Just get you some rest and man, just you know, just sit back and relax, man. You know, just listen to us. You know, chop it up over here at the liquor store and just try to ease your mind, brother. Just try to get back into the healing spirit. And you know, you are in our thoughts and prayers as always, my brother. So yeah, so he did not play particularly well last season. So, but yeah, I'm not gonna say he's ass anything. He's a professional athlete. I'm not gonna talk like that because we have you know common sense over here. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna just talk about the man crazy like that. All right, Zach Cunningham is another free agent that is available. He is a former second round pick from the 2017 draft. He played multiple seasons for the Houston Texans. Let me see what his production was. All right, Zach Cunningham, football linebacker, PFF. He didn't have a particularly great year either, but he's 6'3", 230 pounds, 15 tackles, 8 assists. Doesn't look like he played a lot of football though. He only had 83 run defense snaps, 112 coverage snaps. Only had 8 stops, 4 missed tackles, allowed a passer rating of 128 when targeted. Graded out as a 60.3. Run defense was a 52. So I don't think he fits what we want to do. You know what I mean? We need a linebacker that can help win the run. We gonna have to win in the draft. You know what I mean? Because if we miss out, there's not really a lot of guys at the positions we need. Right? There's some good free agents out there still, just not at the positions we need. Right? Because let me show you something. If we needed a pass rusher, there's plenty of pass rushers. I'm finna share my screen. Hey, Alfred Morales, what's up with you, man? Alfredo Morales, I'm sorry. What's good with you, my guy? I appreciate you for tapping in and showing love to the liquor store, brother. The Ashawn Robinson, only free agent left. I won't. Yeah. See, I like him. Jason Gary, what's good? So let me show y'all something real quick. So I'm gonna go open this up. We're back up here looking at the available free agents. The issue is we don't need a pass rusher. If we needed a pass rusher, there are tons of those. Yannick Ngakoue is a free agent this year. Very good prospect. See, last year he had 12 sacks. He had a forced fumble. He only had 17 total sacks. 17 total tackles, but he had 19 stops. He had 12 sacks. He had 9 hurries, 44 pressures. He did not grade out particularly well against the run, but as a pass rusher, he was pretty damn good, right? So if we needed a pass rusher, there's pass rushers. Yeah, Jason, yeah, like he said, Justin Houston's still good in a part-time role. Q-Ball, what's up with you? See, I can call you Fred. Okay. I'll call you Fred, my brother. I appreciate you for the love, my guy. And everybody that's in here, if you see the little banner going across the bottom, you have 4 more days to participate in the raffle if you want to join. If you send $5, you have a chance of winning a Dallas Cowboy jersey of the winner's choice. So if you want to participate in a raffle to get you a chance to win a Dallas Cowboy jersey, just send $5 to $Hennythemoor. And we will draw the winner, on the 25th. What about Asilla? You think he will be there? I think if you want him, he will be there at 26. The issue is, though, I think he will also be there at 58. I think he's a second round pick. So it's really tough, because, not everybody is really great at drafting. Like some people might draft him before 58. So, it's really tough with a Villa. But, I think that Osiris Torrance is the best left guard. Well, he's the best guard in general. And I think, I think like a Villa would be a guy that I would like to take in the second if possible. So yeah, like he's available. You need a pass rusher, like he's there, right? And that's really one of the reasons why I feel Cuz when he said he doesn't want to draft a pass rusher, right? But look at this, Frank Clark, second round player from Michigan, very solid defensive end, won 2 Super Bowls with the Kansas City Chiefs. He's available. He said he slapped 3 Eagles fans on the way in here. Now, no, that's commitment, man. You're gonna get a lifetime supply of some liquor. You keep that up, man. Keep that pip hand strong. So yeah, so like there's all kinds of pass rushers. Then even if you need cornerback depth, like these aren't the best corners in the world, but there's some depth here. I'm not gonna count Byron Jones because he is going to retire. But you look at guys like Ronald Darby, Bradley Roby, right? Marcus Peters is an available free agent right now. William Jackson, who used to have some upside, is available. That's not even counting what's the boys, Shaquille Griffin. Like there are a bunch of corners available if you need cornerback depth. But oh no, I'm not even drafting. I'm not even thinking about bringing Robert Quinn back. That man had one sack last year. He had one sack last year. Then he also played for the Dirty Eagles. Couldn't even do nothing with them. So nah, I'm good on him. I'm good on Robert Quinn. The issue is like there's some quality free agents. It's just not no quality free agents at the positions we need. So the Dallas Cowboys are going to have to do what we have to do at the draft. I am hoping beyond hope that either Bijan or Villa, Quinn Johnson, or the Bama running back are there for us at 26. I definitely think that the Dallas Cowboys will have the opportunity to draft a real good player at 26. Even if it's not one of them, I think Osiris Torrance might be there at 26. There's a real good chance, that Gibbs, who is that running back from Alabama, will be there at 26. I think Jordan Addison has a possibility of falling to 26. Josh Downs. There's a bunch of quality players that have the opportunity of being there at 26. There's enough guys there that I wouldn't be mad if the Dallas Cowboys took either one of them. My only concern will be if a bunch of those guys are there and the Dallas Cowboys take somebody completely different that I don't want, like a tight end, or they get a quarterback or something stupid. So yeah, it's going to really depend on how the Dallas Cowboy draft board look, because guys like my boy Boss do great work breaking down these players. Me and Landlord do a bunch of pre-draft shows where we look at tape and we look at scouting reports. Is it Frank Clark? I think I can't mess his name. I think Ngwaku Njoku, how you say his name? I think he's a decent defensive end as well. I think he's a specialist. I don't think he's like a guy like DeMarcus Lawrence who can rush the passer and stop the run. But as a pure pass rusher, I think he's a good player. I wouldn't mind trading up for a top tackle. Yeah. Queso, like I definitely believe in Perry Johnson Jr. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a guy that reminds me a lot of like Tyron Smith. So, I would love to get him. And I think he's going to be like a top 15 player. So I would trade up and get him. Man. And listen, I'm always concerned with them, but they have a good enough track record where I should trust them. But at the same time, they do enough crazy stuff along the way to make me look at them sideways, right? Because, yeah, they gave me all these other super throw players. They gave us Michael Parsons, and, they were able to draft Tyron Smith and Zach Martin and this person and that person. But they also drafted Taco Charlton. You know what I mean? They do stupid stuff sometimes. So I just need them to go in here and have one of their better drafts. We need it. I'm not saying we got a bad roster, but like I would feel so much more better about our chances to compete for a title. If I knew opening day we could stop the run, right? I feel so much better about our chances at a title if I knew for a fact, that we got better pass protection. So I just gotta see. What are y'all thoughts though, man? Because we looked at some of these players. There are a couple of diamonds in the rough still at certain positions. I like that idea. Hey, listen, I'm a little biased too because I'm from Arkansas. So Seahawks got 5 picks in the first 83. We only got 2. Shit, we got to make them count. But that also was what happens when you trade away your quarterback. You know what I'm saying? That also what happens when you trade away your star quarterback because they gave up. They got a lot back in return for giving up Russell Wilson. So we still got a good quarterback. Not saying that Geno Smith is horrible or anything, but I think Dak Prescott is a better quarterback, and we had to keep him. Plus, he had a no trade clause. They ain't trying to go nowhere. So yeah, they got a lot of picks, but they're in a rebuilding situation. I wouldn't mind them trading back. I wouldn't mind them trading back or trading up. It just depends on who we can get. Especially picking at 26, right? Is almost at the instance where you would like to trade back and get multiple second round picks. Or, package up, and move up and get one stud player that you really, really want. Tyler, what's up with you, my guy? Appreciate you tapping in and showing love to the liquor store. So what are some of your thoughts about some of these players, man? Like, who would y'all prefer for us to bring in? I know that I ain't talking about the draft. I'm just talking about these free agents we looked at. So right now, my list of viable options: Luann, Robinson. If something happened to, DeMarcus Lawrence or one of our pass rushers, definitely Ngwaku or Leonard Floyd, but we'll just have to see. Darnell Wright. I like Darnell Wright, but it's going to also be dependent on what the Dallas Cowboys view him as. If the Dallas Cowboys only view him as a right tackle at the next level, they need to avoid him. Akeem Hicks. Let me see. I know he's a free agent. I just didn't see him on the list. But let me see what his stats were last year. (6'5", 324. Run grade was a 65.7. He didn't do bad. Got a sack, had 20 total tackles, had 15 stops. So 3 hits, 8 pressures, 4 hurries. He did decent. And I know he's a bit older in the tooth, but if he can still play, cheap little deal, wouldn't mind bringing him in. This really depends. Because in between now and then, it's going to depend if we have options or if we're desperate. If we have options, wooty woo, he's too old, he's too slow, wooty woo. If we're desperate, like a lot of guys will look good to us. You know what I mean? It's just like when you're hungry, you know what I'm saying? Because when you hungry, like ramen noodles smack. You know what I'm saying? When you're broken and hungry, like ramen noodles just smack different. When you got you some money though, like you're out here eating out every day. You got that pack of ramen noodles in there for emergencies. It is the way it is. So the way the Dallas Cowboys are going to view some of these guys is going to really come down to, how well they draft this season. If the guys, for a certain role they're envisioning or there, if they're able to get them, then I think a lot of these guys are going to sit where they're at. If they don't get a chance to get, maybe some defensive line help or get some offensive line help in the draft like they want, I can definitely see them looking at and what Boss has a name for. I think Boss calls them some marshals. I think he says marshals. But yeah, they definitely, they're not going to go to the fine wine section. I think they'll be in the cheap liquor department getting Takavaka. I kept watching Mayer and he grown on me. I think he just gets disrespected because athletically he's average, but he's tough. Helps us with physicality at the line. It was him and tight end at college. What's up, Hennythemoor, for looking? Hey, what's up with you, my guy? Appreciate you tapping in. I'm just so concerned about drafting a tight end. The last decade has shown it doesn't work out. And listen, I'm gonna say this to be positive. If there is any team that can crack the Da Vinci code on getting it right on a first round tight end, it's the Cowboys. And at the same token, I don't want them to have to be the first team in however many years to get it right at tight end in the first round. So there's worse fates in the world. Hey, shout out to my boy DC for Life for the $5 donation. That got you another entry into the raffle. So right now you have, let me take a look. Let me update your stuff. So right now, my boy, you got 14 entries. If he's Jason Witten, is he worth 26? Ooh, it depends. It also depends on if I can get Jason Witten in a later round or not. Because Jason Witten himself was a 3rd round pick. And the crazy thing about it, all the good tight ends, in our history, have been later round picks. So I think even like Novacek was a late round pick. Jason Witten was a 3rd round pick. Shit. Matter of fact, we haven't drafted a tight end in the first round since LaFleur in 1997. So I don't know. It's really just going to depend on how the Dallas Cowboys, view that position. Also, quick little update. Hey, Eastside Hero, what's up with your hating ass, man? I appreciate you coming in and showing love, my boy. Oh yeah, he played his ass off in that Super Bowl run, and that's why I want him. Like he has a background. And just for a quick little update, Regina Green still has the best odds of winning this jersey. She has 20 entries. Dwayne Brown had the 2nd best odds. He has 19 entries. DC for Life, you had the 3rd best odds. You got 14 entries. And then S.A. Richburg, you got a pretty good shot. You got the 4th best odds because you got 10 entries. So appreciate y'all for supporting, showing love. Thank you for participating. And if any of y'all want to participate in the raffle, it's only $5. Only one entry is required. You still have a good ass chance of winning a jersey. So if you want to participate, just send $5 to $Hennythemoor. Now back to our regular scheduled programming. I think Kellen Moore going to take Mayer at 22, so we good. You know what? That is who's they tight end right now? I think Kellen Moore would be screwing the pooch if he took a tight end. He said Chargers most likely going tight end. Well, shit. Hey, that'd be their mistake. And beautiful thing about it is there's a chance one of these tight ends y'all like can get pushed down to the 2nd round, right? I feel differently about drafting a tight end in the 2nd round because I think if you're gonna go weapon first round, I think there's some wide receivers in here in this first round that are exceptional. I think Jordan Addison is a dog. I think that Zay Flowers is a monster. I think JSN is maybe the 1st or 2nd best route runner in the draft, depending on how you feel about Tank Dell. So there's definitely some great first round wide receivers that I would take over getting a tight end. Said Kincaid is Hayden Hurst 2.0. Stay away. Yeah, man. And guys like Hayden Hurst is why I don't like drafting tight ends in the first round. LOL. Yeah, Regina Green, you're right. He is going to screw the pooch. I really hope that he does not have any say-so in their personnel, for their sake. For their sake, I hope he doesn't have any say-so in the personnel. But yeah, if you're gonna go weapon, I prefer to get a wide receiver because you can do way more. You can do way more with a wide receiver out there than you can with a tight end. You know what I mean? It's more of a mismatch. There's like 5 different spots I could put that wide receiver. If I want to line that wide receiver up with running back, I could do so. And listen, I'd be fine with taking a tight end in the second round. I just think like the level of positions in the first round, I think like I'm putting it like this. With a first round pick, I can get a tackle that can play for me for the next 15 years. Right? I think there's tackles in this year's draft that you have to take in the first round, by the way, that can come in and start for you for the next 15 years and play at a Pro Bowl level. Like we talked about Perry Johnson, we talked about Jones, we talked about this person, that person. Like the tackles you want to, for your team to get are in the first round. Killen's gonna make the Chargers lose when it matters, just like he did for us. Shit, the Chargers already lose when it matters. They ain't never won a title. And they blew a 26-point lead last year. He's gonna be right at home. I would prefer for them to let Ferguson cook, because remember, they were selling us on Ferguson being able to do this and do that as one of the reasons why they didn't want to pay Dalton Schultz. Like, y'all told me that we can get the same production from Ferguson and Hendershot than what Schultz gave us. So it's time now. Don't back out of it now. Like y'all, front office. This is what y'all said. It's time to show me now. Don't back out. Hey, bro, I can see the Falcons. Taking a quarterback too, though. I don't think they're sold on Riddler. I definitely can see them taking a quarterback like Hendon Hooker. Because they can see, because I don't think he'll be healthy enough to play. It'll be a lost year with Riddler, more than likely, with the personnel that they have. And then they will have another top pick. They'll have Hendon Hooker fully healthy the next season, and they'll probably have another top 10 pick. So there's a possibility they could take a damn quarterback. Don't rule it out. There's a good chance they could take a quarterback. Now I definitely think that Bijan Robinson deserves to go in the first round. His blocking came and went. It was not one of his strong suits. He wasn't out there blocking like Kelsey or blocking like Kittle. He got better as a blocker as his time progressed, but we knew who he was out there for. So Minnesota probably going wide receiver to replace Thielen. It's a possibility. Yeah, it's a possibility because they need another option, especially because they got to pay Justin Jefferson pretty soon. Justin Jefferson is going to come up for a contract extension. There's a possibility too, quarterback. And that's the beautiful thing about the draft. Like, most of these teams don't have anything set in stone that they just have to have. Outside of like the top teams in the draft, like the Texans and the Panthers. It's obvious they're probably 9 times out of 10 gonna take a quarterback. Everybody else is up for in the air. You're like, yeah, like this team needs a guard, but they also need a wide receiver. Or they also need a tackle. Different stuff. Like they need like 3 or 4 different positions. So you never know how they're viewing these different players on the board. Like this team might need an edge rusher and a corner. So they might go edge rusher first round and corner second round, or corner first round and edge rusher second round, right? And that's a nice way to look at it too, right? because I wouldn't mind having Cedric Wilson back. And there's wide receiver depth in here, right? There's not a lot of great outside wide receivers, but second round, there's guys like Marvin Mims, maybe even Tank Dell could fall to the second round, right? You look at Trey Palmer, right? Then you look at my guy from Arkansas, Matt Landers. Matt Landers a dog, man. Y'all sleeping on Matt Landers. He gonna be a monster, man. Listen. And that boy only got a fifth round. So T.Y. Hilton. And listen, I think T.Y. Hilton is going to do the same thing he did this year. I believe he's going to sign somewhere in December because he's older. He doesn't need the accolades. He's just probably trying to play on a playoff team and get that last notch on his personal belt of winning a championship. I don't necessarily think he's going to come in and go through training camp and do this and do that. I think he'll come in very late for a team. And another thing, I'm glad you brought up him. This is a report from Patrick Walker, right? From April the 13th. He said, and he writes at for Cowboys.com. He said, with the addition of Cooks, y'all not even looking at me. I'm sorry, I had this big ass screen up still. With the addition of Cooks, I'm hard pressed to envision T.Y. Hilton willfully walking into a situation where at best he might be wide receiver 4, fighting for some wide receiver 3 snaps with Michael Gallup. So, that is also a factor in there. Does he even want to come into this situation? You know what I mean? Does he even want to come back and have to do all that? You know what I mean? Last year, he was down near the number 2 receiver when he came over here. Didn't get a lot of snaps, because didn't get a lot of playing time because there wasn't that many games. But he was one of our more viable options last year. Michael Gallup was a shell of himself. Noah Brown did not do much down the stretch in games. T.Y. Hilton was out there making plays for us. That really would not be the same case, They might draft a late wide receiver with some upside, like Trey Palmer or Matt Landers, like we talked about, right? Then Michael Gallup is healthy and he's the guy that play well enough to get paid. He's not gonna get more snaps than him. Then we're talking about a guy like Jalen Tolbert might take the next step in his development. So it's a lot of moving parts around our wide receiving room. So I don't know if T.Y. Hilton has a full cutout role on this team anymore. You know what I mean? Now, as a cheap option, if shit hit the fan, then I would love to have him back because you always need backup plans. You need a backup plan for your backup plan sometime. But just out the gate, I don't know if there's really anything for us to do. All right. But yeah, man, this has been Cheap Liquor. We looked at some discount guys and it was ugly. To say the least, it was ugly as hell. So now that we looked at who's available, we sort of have the idea that we need to get this right in the draft, right? There's not going to be this random tackle in free agency we can sign, right? Outside of Lewin, he's the only one. There's not going to be, a bunch of great defensive tackles. I think Shelby Harris and Robinson are the only 2 worth bringing in. And shit, I hopefully we don't need pass rushers, right? So let's hope not, right? Let's hope we have a bigger championship window than 2 years. There's a lot of pressure on us and the team. So let's hope that they extend that championship window. Let's hope that they extend that championship window. But yeah, man, I'm finna get out for here. It's actually my birthday weekend, man. So, hey, Dwayne Brown, appreciate you for stopping in and showing love to the liquor store, man. So yeah, it's actually my birthday weekend, man. Like I'm going to be old as hell tomorrow. Like I'm not gonna tell you how old, but you know, I am a granddaddy, so so I'm gonna get off of here. Spend some time with my family. You know, I'll try and do a show sometime tomorrow. But I appreciate y'all for tapping in, showing love to the liquor store, rocking with me. Hey, appreciate you, Jason Garrett. Yeah, like it's tomorrow on the 22nd. So like you may see me, you may not, but I'm gonna try to get on here and holler at y'all, man. I would love a Master One Tech like Ika. So you know, I always tell y'all to drink and drive responsibly. But if you see an Eagles fan in the middle of the road, man, please run their ass over. Like they've been talking crazy this whole off season. Please run their goofy ass over. I'm just kidding. Let's really gonna do it. But hey, God bless, man. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for the love and the support. You know, please continue to share. Please continue to like. You know, tell a friend to subscribe. You know, we're still trying to build it up. And you know, if you want to participate in the raffle, you know, just keep sending to $ Hennythemoor. So I appreciate y'all for everything. One love. I'll get at y'all later. Peace.